hell's going on with this world today, huh? What the hell's going on? It's bad enough when drinking water gets contaminated by natural disasters, but it's a whole different story when people knowingly get sold contaminated drinking water. Crestwood, Illinois had been getting sold contaminated drinking water for over 25 years. A dry clean company spilled a bunch of perchloroethylene, which spilled in the water and contaminated Crestwood's well. Perchloroethylene is a known carcinogen, and it has a barrage of health issues. Cancer, lymphoma, blood disorders, kidney problems, liver problems, even neurological disorders. And the EPA caught wind of this pretty quick, and they started asking a lot of questions. Frank Skasha and Teresa Neubauer lied to the EPA by telling them, yes, the well is contaminated, but we're only going to use it for emergency backup, and it's not to be used for human consumption. But on that same flip side, they were bragging to the town of Crestwood that they're selling the town water at a much cheaper rate than any other area. What they weren't telling them is how they were doing it. You see, they were taking water that they were buying from Crestwood, Illinois, which was treated Lake Michigan drinking water, and they were mixing that with the contaminated water from their own well. And they even went as far as to falsify the city's water report so people didn't know what they were drinking. And for years, Mayor Chuck Stranzik kept trying to tell people, the water's safe to drink, the water's safe to drink, the water's safe to drink. Really, why don't you go ask Trisha Krause if that water is safe to drink? Why don't you go ask her son? Didn't have a fight with cancer from that contaminated water. Go ask if both of her daughters don't have neurological disorders from drinking that contaminated water. And when all this hit the news, people were like, oh, well, thank God we've got water filters. These people think they're protected, but they're not. This is a typical faucet-type water filtration system you will find in most stores and supermarkets. It works by using charcoal filters. It purifies the water as the water runs through the filter. On the back of most of the boxes, however, it says it keeps a healthy level of fluoride. That's because the typical water filter does not have the ability to remove it. The filters might remove chlorine, metals, and organic materials, but it basically makes the water taste better. If it doesn't even remove fluoride, it won't remove perchloroethylene either. Ask people to paint cars for a living. If you paint with enamel paint, you can use a charcoal respirator because the charcoal packets absorb the fumes. But if you're going to paint with something like urethane that has toxic chemicals and hardeners, the fumes go right straight through those charcoal packets into your lungs. That's because those charcoal packets aren't designed to absorb that kind of toxin. The same thing with these water filters. If they don't even remove the fluoride, they're not going to remove perchloroethylene. I don't even think a reverse osmosis system would touch perchloroethylene. For something like that, you need to take that water to a water treatment plant. Only Crestwood wasn't doing that. They were taking the water that they bought from Lake Michigan and they're just mixing it with the straight untreated well water. I can't believe that people's level of greed has actually escalated to this point. I mean, where's the thought process in all this? I can't believe that people would actually have the gall to take Lake Michigan drinking water and mix it with contaminated drinking water just so they could sell it at a cheaper rate and not care a rat's ass about the people that are going to get sick and die just as long as they can sell the water at a cheaper rate so they can make a bigger profit for themselves. Are you serious?